Tremendous side-by-side racing and a crash. Mark Martin's car lifts off the ground but does not go over. But this crash is going to involve several cars.
You see Hud Strickland in the mud there.
It was bound to happen. Blake's speed is damaged badly, so is Rusty Wallace. The Sunoco car of Terry Labonte on the right side of your screen is damaged. You just felt like that something was going to happen, and here's how it started.
Mark Martin was down on the inside. Ernie Irvin got between he and Kyle Petty, and they touched around to go look at Mark Martin's car go up in the air.
Comes back down on all four wheels, and meanwhile behind them, those fellows have no place to go. Ernie Irvin is now spun up in the outside wall. Kyle Petty spun the first three cars.
And another angle now in this crash that has taken out several cars. Let's go to John Kernews with Davey Allison.
Davey is climbed from out of the car. They are working on it, trying to get him back, but they got a lot of work to do, a lot of damage. Davey, you said you saw it happen in front of you.
Yeah, it's just too many people racing too close together, and you know it's this early in the race. That's stupid. It's a 500-mile race. People don't need to be worried about being up at the front of the pack. You know, most of us were out there trying to run single file. You know, there were some people that were holding us up, and I tried to get back in front of them. When I couldn't get in line, I stayed out of line until I could get in line. I was respecting those other people. But there were a bunch of people out there that didn't respect each other, and that's what caused this.
They will go to work on the Texaco Haviland Ford, try and get him back out, but they do have a busted radiator. The front end is pretty well demolished. Also some damage in the rear end, but the Robert Yates crew has gone to work, and they're going to try and get Davey back out there.
Well, this race is going to finish under the caution flag, folks, because the Mark Martin is going to get the white flag as he comes by this time. There it is. So that is our winner, Mark Martin.
And Mark Martin will win for the second time in a row from the pole. Now, you can't run out of gas, which he won't, of course. And I don't think he'll hit anything on this last half mile. Of course, he's been dodging bullets all day long. Tommy Houston pulls up alongside Mark Martin. Tommy looks like he thought the race was over, but Tommy better stay out there for one more lap.
Yeah, that reminds me of Cale Yarborough at
Daytona,
when Richard Petty won his 200. There was a couple of laps to go, and Cale drove in the pits.
And who ended up finishing second?
I finished fourth. I think he beat me. I think I finished fourth that day. But here comes Mark Martin. He's coming. What's he doing?
He's coming down pit road. Wait a minute, Mark. The race is not over.
And Mark
Martin pulled in. David Green was winning this race.
David Green is going to win the race as Mark Martin has pulled down pit road.
I don't believe it.
Have you ever seen a situation? I mean, the white flag was waving so clearly.
Martin pulls behind the wall. Now, actually, he was headed to Victory Lane. His Victory Lane here at Bristol was right down out of turn 4, so he was headed to where he was supposed to go, to the gas pumps for the NASCAR inspection, but just a little bit early.
He was about 300 yards short. Just a good 4-iron or something for you.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, I wonder who's going to have the opportunity to talk to Mark Martin. It's just going to be Kyle or John.
Well, Kyle Petty's headed to get back in his mellow yellow Pontiac for tomorrow for the practice, and we'll, of course, have our live flag-to-flag coverage tomorrow. But what a finish, and there's Mark Martin from inside the car. What a great run today, hanging on and in the Winn-Dixie Ford. We thought he was going to be able to win 2 in a row.
Well, I caught up with him. Mark is changing to his Valvoline Winston Cup suit, tying his shoe there. And Mark, I tell you, I've never seen anything like that. I guess, well, Cale Yarborough back when Richard Petty won his 200, but he was in second at that point. What happened?
I can't believe anybody else would be that stupid.
So what? When
listen, man, I've been pulling for David Green to win really hard, but that's not like that. That's the stupidest thing ever done. There's nothing else I can say. I thought the race was over. Those guys pulled up beside of me waving, and I swear I thought I saw Houston come down pit road. I thought it was over.
Dinner be ready at 5.
Now all that's left's tomorrow's race.
Yeah, let me ask you about how you feel. How's your neck feel?
Fine. That was
piece of cake.
That was a piece of cake. I wish we could do 500 right now. I got to go out there and redeem myself now.
Has Jack? I know Jack was up on the radio. Did he say anything to you?
He was coming down. He didn't even see it. And Steve said something. Man, I just messed up. I thought it was over. And Winn-Dixie team did everything right, man. They were fast on pit road and had a great race car, but we'll have to get the next one.
Well, I tell you what, Mark, if Jack says anything to you, remind him about the gas calculation a few years ago.
He won't say anything. Everybody feels sorry for somebody when they do something that stupid.
Thank you, Mark. Guys,
I tell you, John, it takes a real man to be able to smile on camera and say, man, was I ever dumb. I'll never believe a move like that. What a finish in Bristol, Tennessee.
Well, we got some action going on before we ever get started here. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. We think we know what we want to do if we can just make all of that happen.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys get together coming down for the signal. 1 lap to go, DJ.
Yeah, it looked like Mark was trying to warm up his tires and maybe got a little loose and came over into the 48. So I don't know if there's any damage, but we'll have to see what happens.
Oh, man, it's starting early, DJ. Good luck.
It is starting early. Hopefully that'll be as much action as we'll have today, other than just a lot of passing.
All right, man, thanks.
And the rest of the starting field for today's EA Sports 500. What was that all about?
The 48 right front fender, when I looked up, was pretty well damaged.
Man. What do you do about that? I'm monitoring NASCAR's radio. I believe the 6 team is asking permission to pass the pace car to try and come to pit road and check their car. Permission being denied, of course. You're never allowed to pass the pace car. Wow, that's weird.
That is weird.
And the top 2 guys in the championship before we even get started.
And as I said, there is damage. I saw damage to the right front tire, right front fender. Let's see what we can tell what might have happened.
Well, you see Mark on the outside, front row.
Left front down so far that the tire hit the fender there, Mark.
That wasn't it, buddy. It was mechanically down. It was locked. It wasn't a fender.
What in the world? I have no idea.
He's talking like the way he's talking to Ben Leslie is all of a sudden it just locked up. He was turning it left and it would not turn back to the right. It just locked up. And Ben is talking about the air pressure being so low. Matt, what are they saying down there?
Benny, Chad Knaus was lobbying NASCAR that they could bring the 48 down the hold-off, throwing the green. They are not, the way it sounds now, they are not going to do that. Chad is still lobbying. He says that his spotter told him that there is damage to the right front fender. Chad is still lobbying. And Rick Hendrick is now coming into the mix, helping to lobby on the 48 team's part.
And Matt, while that's going on, they're putting Mark Martin's number up on the board. He's being black flagged. Dave, what's up there?
It's okay. It's perfect. Still posting us. They're still posting us. We got to come down and raise the hood.
All right. Having some troubles with Dave's microphone. We'll get him fixed in a minute. You see Mark Martin following the pace car down pit road as the field comes to the green flag. One championship contender in trouble before we even start.
And we heard Ben Leslie say NASCAR's posted us. We've got to come down and raise the hood. They do that.
They do that as the field goes green. 188 laps to make up the distance at Talladega today. Jimmy Johnson and now Jeff Gordon lead the field to turn 1.
But obviously Jeff took a look at that fender when he pulled up next to Jimmy Johnson. Didn't think it was bad enough for Jimmy Johnson to come down pit lane.
And we see Mark Martin is rolling, but he is completely out of the draft. That means he'll be about 3 seconds a lap slower than these cars.
Means he needs a caution fast to catch up to the field. Here's Kurt.
Hit this time. Hit this time. I want to change right side tire. Have that fender out. Take a hammer with you if you've got to.
The 48 car, Chad Knaus talking about hit this time. It must be rubbing or something.
Hit this time. Hit this time. 3-1.
Unbelievable.
That is.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So the top 2 in the championship in trouble already.
Well, it is pretty bad then.
Yes, it is. We see the damage to that right front fender.
Jeff Gordon leads lap 1, Rusty Wallace to his outside. They're 3 deep right behind him. Matt Yoakum.
And what will seem like an eternity, Jimmy Johnson finally comes to a stop. You can see the right front cosmetic damage. Shane Parstow going to work, trying to pull out that front valence, beating it with a hammer as they lose more and more time. Chad Knaus, the crew chief, underneath, trying to beat out the front valence right underneath the Monte Carlo decal, changing right side tires. Jimmy now is finally down and away. A tough break for today's point leader.
He's going to lose a lap.
Yeah, he's going to go a lap down real quick here.
Jimmy Johnson is out, Dave.
He is behind the wall. He's just climbed out of the car. You heard about the other cars going away. Did you try to adjust your driving style or anything to save your motor, Jimmy?
I'd be totally honest with you. I didn't have a clue. We really don't talk about it on the radio. We're afraid we'll jinx ourselves. When I broke, I looked up and I saw the 5 on the apron too. So it's one of those deals. Don't want it wrong, but
know the guys try awfully hard in the engine shop. We had great power, really competitive all day long. Our day was crazy from the get-go. I don't know what the heck happened with Martin at the beginning. Knocked a right front fender in on the tire, and it's been a wild day. But hey, what the heck? Whoever's been leading this points has had nothing but problems, so I'm glad we don't have to worry about that voodoo doll on our backs. We'll just go on and see what happens.
All right, he was the points leader coming in, guys.
Jimmie Johnson out. And a spinner down the front stretch and one into the outside wall. It's Mark Martin. Before we even get to tell you what happened to Mark Martin on his pit stop, he's into the outside wall.
And Mark was in such a good spot when
After
you tell
the
what
pit stop.
happened. Yeah, after the pit stop, and he had to come in. Alan will tell you about that. But what a
Load away and let's load this car up.
Yeah. Mark came in, got fuel only on his pit stop, got off pit road ahead of all the other guys that pitted, but the catch can went with him out of his pit box.
Yeah.
He had to come back in. It put him back 26th in line, and that's what happens at Bristol when you get back in line.
Exactly. I mean, you talk about track position. Well, track position will hurt you here at Bristol.
All right, here's what happened to bring out the caution flag. Top of the screen. Looked like Johnny Sauter and maybe Bill Elliott got tangled up.
Boy, Mark just got collected.
Sauter came off the wall and just caught Mark in the right rear as he went by, turned him head on in the wall. Dave?
Now let's catch up with Mark here. Mark checking out the damage and collecting his things. Mark, tell us about that.
Johnny Sauter, he lost it. He's a weapon out there all night, man. I couldn't believe it. You know, and I see he's still out there running. I don't know. This wasn't our night. We had a great car. So it's just, that just figures. You know, I really believe that we had a chance to win that thing.
It looked like it from down here and up there too, guys, didn't it?
No, I mean, he had a great car and he was in a great spot, but unfortunately, that mishap in the pits put him in a bad position on the restart of this race. When you're back there with those guys, sometimes you get caught up.
We've got a crash. Ooh, hard. Mark Martin hard in the wall. Robbie Gordon involved. Yeley involved. Oh, man.
Mark Martin right now is second in the championship standings.
He expected this last week, not this week.
Right. Thought this would be perhaps his night.
It looked like he was going to have a terrific finish tonight, and I'll tell you what, that saved Jeff Burton. I mean, he may have went a lap down, but he could have went 2 laps down.
They got him off of pit road finally.
Pat Trost is upset with J.J. Yeley, I guess. Slick to acknowledge the crowd.
Thanking the fans. Let's go back and take a look.
Well, it looks like Yeley decided to come down into pit lane and didn't let everybody behind him know. And I mean, took out 2 good race cars. I mean, I don't know if he ran out of gas and decided that he needed to get down pit lane right then, but even if you're running out of gas, you got to watch what's coming in your mirror. I mean, Mark went in the wall about the worst angle you can hit.
That was an unbelievably hard blow by that 6 car.
Okay, let's follow the story. Brought out the caution. Dave Burns is with J.J. Yeley.
And J.J. Was making a run for pit road there. Was that a sudden decision, J.J., or had you guys been planning that?
No, it was planned coming down the back straightaway. The 6 jumped out there and almost got me in the fence, and just like I got in front of it, I started waving off. Got into 3 there, checked up again, waved off again, and just got the middle. I pushed up about a half a car. I wasn't exactly on the bottom, and Mark shot underneath me, and just as I saw him, he hit me in the left front, and it's a tough deal. Took out a bunch of good cars. You know, we had a pretty good race car right there. We just got real tight, but you know, I waved off, and I just thought he was going to go on the outside of me.
Hey, guys, sounds like J.J. tried to do everything you're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, sometimes the problem with these cars, though, Dave, even though you're waving, that doesn't mean anything these days because there's so much in these cars. You can't see in the race car. I mean, you know, you can try to stick your hand out the window. That's the best thing you can do, but it's hard to wave somebody off.
Marty? Well, Bill, Mark Martin has come from the infield care center. First of all, was the 18 waving as far as you could see?
You can't see in those cars. I don't know. Thank Humpy and Bruton Smith and God for South Walls. I'm having fun. Championship is not really something that was meant to be for me ever. It probably isn't this year, and it's not going to get me down. I'm having a good time, having a blast. AAA car was pretty good tonight, and Yeley came from the middle of the racetrack. He let the 17 go. I hadn't seen it, but from my viewpoint, you know, he let the 17 pass him on the inside, and I was coming too, and I didn't know he was going to pit. You know, he was up on top. You know, he was in the middle of the track.
Are you sure you want to be so pessimistic? I mean, there's a lot of guys having problems tonight, Mark.
I don't know. I haven't seen nothing. I'm having fun. All right?
That's a good attitude to have about it. Here's the replay, Mark. If you want to see it real quick, get the handshake from Jack Roush.
It's not far enough back. It needs to be from my windshield. You know, that doesn't capture it. He's already made his commitment to come down across the racetrack at that point. But, you know, it's just one of these things. Matt just passed him on the inside, and he was up in the middle of the racetrack. And usually when I pit, I get on the inside of the racetrack and then come off, you know. But that's one of those things that happens, you know. We had brand new tires. We were coming probably faster than they knew, or his spotter knew, or whatever. We were on brand new tires. We were rolling.
I'm glad you're still having fun, though.
I'm having fun.
All right, he's keeping a positive attitude about it, Bill, but obviously very disappointed.
Larry, I got to tell you, Jeff Gordon's grabbing a handful. Oh, we got some trouble down the backstretch. Two cars, including Mark Martin, sliding through.
Spun us down the back.
The inside of the track in our first caution of the night now.
You all right, Mark? Got a lot of got a lot of front.
A lot of front damage is what he was trying to say here. Let's try to get a look. You see the 17 car up there, and I think Mark was just trying to slide up there in front of Matt, and that was just a close call, and an inch would have done it.
Yeah, and
you Montoya.
Know, whoa!
Almost made it.
But you look at Matt. That's two cars coming from two different angles to the same spot on the racetrack, and you know it's one of those deals. It's give and take, and I don't think Matt thought that he was going to come up that quick either. I hate that for Mark, man.
Yeah, he was running 6th and 9th in the points coming into tonight.
See Matt up on the high side, and he's got a pretty good run there. I think Mark just closed up on him a little bit quicker than he realized. I tell you, Montoya did a really nice job there. That could have been big.
Yeah. And you know, he got down through the grass, and we'll have to see what it did to his splitter.
Right behind these guys, driver everyone was watching. 3rd anniversary of his last win. Don't think it's going to happen today. Just a few laps ago, he actually tagged the wall. This is going through turn 1 and 2, coming up on Mark Martin. And you can hear him roll out the throttle because he saw Mark Martin in the 5 car squeezing up there.
Coming. They got to run behind you there. One's back.
And we got a caution, Dale Earnhardt Jr. into the wall. It's our 6th caution of the day.
And that changes everything again.
Yes.
Still rolling, Junior? Yeah, buddy.
Now
it's still rolling, buddy? I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Now it's going to come down to the best race car.
Junior riding behind Joey Logano.
Looks like a cut tire. Looks like a tire. I mean, as quick as it went to the right.
Yeah, well, he
had already been in
damage,
the wall.
yeah.
He had already been in the wall with the 5 car, and I'm betting he had a rub or something because as fast as that thing just kind of floated to the right, I mean, it had to be. Look at, he's turning to the left, turning to the left. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, something went down.
Something went down.
You saw it vibrate right before you hit.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., a rough afternoon here at Michigan. Marty Snyder caught up with him after the race.
Well, a frustrating day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. And what happened there on the contact with your teammate, Dale?
Well, I mean, I got on the outside of Mark, and he just come on up and drove us in the fence off the corner. I don't know if his spotter wasn't spotting good or whether he just couldn't see good or what, but just ran and slapped in the wall. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. It blew the right front tire out eventually. We had got the car pretty good at that point. We're kind of moving forward, but I don't know, man. You know, car went away from us in the middle of the race, but I guess we can try to get our stuff together and go back the next week and try to see what we can do.
At points, did this feel like a top 5 car to you? And then is that what it kind of ended the day for you?
I never give up. I mean, even at the end, when the car was beat all to hell, we still wanted to try to get what we could at the end of the race. We tried to get as many spots as we can. Every point's a big deal out there, and I just I try really hard to take care of people, try not to be careless, and I don't like putting up with carelessness, and that just really pissed me off what happened out there. So,
thanks, Junior.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. 11th and Mark Martin 12th. Here's what happened between those two 1 lap ago.
Mark comes up and Dale Jr. says, "Hey man, you broke my..." Whoa, I mean, he got in the wall a little bit going down through there. Gave him a real nice tap.
I mean, Earnhardt had a run, but yeah, that's a pretty hard hit.
Yes, he did with both ends of that 55 car.
And Mark, you'd have been running about 18th all day long. I've been telling Larry, I said, you watch that 55, he'll be 10th when this thing's over with.
Only 23 laps to go, and caution waves
yellow
for Landon Castle. There was a bit of a discussion on that caution lap between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mark Martin. They got side by side and kind of close enough for hand signals up in turns 3 and 4.
Mark's got a lot of damage to his car, and he drove up along beside of Dale Jr. and expressed his displeasure with that young man.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. 4th in points currently. And let's check in with him. He's with Steve Burns.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., you led a lot of laps out front. How would you describe your afternoon?
Well, when we were fast leading the race, the car was really tight. And I knew by the end of the race, especially with all them cautions we had at the end, that this was going to be really tight racetrack, and we needed to free the car up. And I didn't give Steve enough information throughout the day to really give him the idea of how tight the car was. And track sort of went past us as far as our handling goes. So we didn't, I didn't keep up with the track enough, and it cost us a handful of spots there at the end of the race. And the car's just really tight. We should have worked on it during the day, and I should have gave Steve a little more heads up on what was happening. And but we had a good weekend. National Guard Diet Mountain Dew Chevy was fast all weekend, and we keep doing that every week. We're gonna be right there. So we'll just keep trying.
See you at Bristol.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.